depression, from what we understood last week, is a clinical diagnosis that is a consistent state. And we also understood last week that depression is a spirit. You know? And the question is, how do you encourage yourself in the Lord? One of the ways you can do that, I think, is it's not easy, man. It's really not easy. One of the ways you can do that is just, if you have it within you at that point in time, is think about moments in your past where you thought it was just completely over, and how God yanked you out of that mess or that situation. That's something that I think has worked for me. But the thing is, at that point in time, is it easy for you to really get the sanity of mind to start to reflect back on how God helped you in the past? No. Maybe that's kind of why there's the benefit of friendship. Maybe that's kind of why you have someone that can just say, hey, man, what did David do when all else have failed? When he was at his wit's end? What did he do? How did you muster that strength? That's what I call by tapping into the reservoir. Because you're on E at that point in time. Your gas tank, in fact, you are on E. You know, and the reality is this, you know, it's beautiful if you are a member of the Church of God and you fall into little bouts of depression or things like that, you can get counseling.
Because when you have people around you, I mean, you need to be by yourself to even be able to begin to dwell on the things that weigh you down, right? But if you have somebody else around who is engaging you in things other than what is in your mind, it has a calming effect to even, I mean, I've seen people who were bereaved, as in totally broken down. But when brethren from church came, the first one, second one, and then somebody, you know, they're talking.
Get out of it.
I mean, sometimes within 3 hours, the same person who was crying hopelessly 3 hours ago is laughing and smiling, and you are wondering, is this laughing real? Because this person was really bitter 3 hours ago. Do you understand? So there's a way that even having company around you is therapeutic. It has a way of improving your mood. Somebody just asking how you doing sometimes is just the tonic you need. Yeah. You know? So we can't remove the place of developing healthy relationships in church, one with another. And why do I say in church? I'm not saying that you can't have healthy relationships out there, but at least I can be sure that the advice you get from your church cycle will be one that pleases God.
So in any learning environment, there must be learning, there must be disciplining, and there must be correction. And that's what will lead us to today's topic, titled The Teachable Spirit. The Teachable Spirit. The Teachable Spirit. Now, what sustains growth and development in any society is ensuring that those milestones are attained. That means there must be some form of correction, there must be some form of discipline, there must be some form of learning. It will be chaotic here in the house of God if everyone does as they please, as I'm preaching here, everybody starts walking up and down and, being, in quotes, disrespectful, it will be chaotic. There will be no order. And the church is not exempt from those standards of attaining or aspiring for discipline or correction in an atmosphere of learning, because we have come to learn. We've come to learn at the master's feet, not from pastors' knowledge or pastors' experience. We've come to learn at the master's feet. So if learning is embraced, right, like we're all here learning, we must also embrace discipline and correction. They go hand in hand, or three hands together. Learning, discipline, and correction. And the church is not exempt from the expectations of, ensuring that people are learning and being disciplined as the case may be. We remain teachable no matter what. No matter what height we attain in life and whatever level we reach with God. No matter what level we are. Now, attributes of a teachable spirit. It's very important as a child of God, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, that we have a teachable spirit. Because I can't imagine if we lacked a teachable spirit, if we did not follow order, it would be a different world, a different dimension that we'll be living in. Jesus himself was a teacher. He was always trying to explain things to people because he knew that there was something he could offer them. And he was also willing and open to learning and listening to the plight of the people. Number one, attribute of a teachable spirit. A teachable spirit accepts correction. It accepts correction. A teachable spirit requires simplicity. The word of God does not need to be complicated. You don't need too much to get the word of God. It's pretty basic. He doesn't contradict himself. It's very simple. So you must have a simple attitude or a simple approach to the word of God. Don't think that this is what Apostle Paul was probably saying because in that era he was a lawyer, but then they didn't understand. Don't overcomplicate the matter. The word of God is very simple. And a teachable spirit requires simplicity in an approach to learning. Proverbs 15:31 to 32. Proverbs 15:31 to 32. And I love the way the NLT says it. Proverbs 15:31 to 32. Proverbs 15:31 to 32. If you listen to constructive criticisms, you will be at home with the wise. If you reject discipline, you only harm yourself. But if you listen to correction, you grow in understanding.